Welcome back. Okay, now we're going to be copying an angle. All right, so your notes are a little different than these ones. They're the same notes I have on the next page. Right? I thought I would go over it once with you on this page because it's a little easier to read the steps. So you can kind of look at those. I, again, won't read the steps, but I'll talk through them in my own words. But the only problem with this one is everything is kind of half done for me already. And it just kind of showing you the progression of the steps. So I'm going to have to kind of just write over what's already done there. Right? So if you happen to have a line segment already drawn with a point on it, in this case we were already given line segment there that has point F on it. So we didn't have to draw that. In the next example I'll need to draw the line segment, and you will too. Right? But if I already have that, then my next step would be I want to draw an arc so that I can measure the angle. Now, oh, that's going to be interesting. I can no longer reach the compass. And you can't see it, but I have a recording box and it's blocking the top of my compass. I just moved it. There we go. That's even interesting. Okay, there. That's. I wanted to match the one that's already there. So it doesn't have to be open to a certain amount. You just don't want it like really, really small. Like you don't want to be really close to the angle, and you don't want to be at the edge of the angle. Somewhere like in the middle of the angle, is fine. Right? And you're going to draw an arc. So the compass gives us exact measures. Because it should stay stationary. Right? All right, so now we've drawn an arc. We're going to copy that same arc. The reason that we need the arc, right, so we just put the compass point on our point and we draw an arc. Right? The reason we need that arc is we need a way to measure our angle without using any type of measuring tool. Right? So now we have a place where we're going to measure. We're going to measure along that arc. And normally none of these lines would have been drawn in, by the way. Right? And then we take our compass, we put a point on one side, one side of our angle, one of the arms of the angle, and then we want to open it up so it matches our angle. And that is not matching. So that if I draw that arc, I'm just going to turn the, you'll see how the compass, the pencil there, whatever you want to call it, is going right through both the side of the angle and the arc we drew. Right? If we didn't put that arc there, we'd have no place to measure. Right? So now we know where to measure. We'll draw our arc. Let's see how close my head. I was pretty close on where I placed my compass. It's just a little harder because on the smartboard, because my compass decides how much I can open and close at a time. All right, so now we're going to measure across the angle we're trying to draw. Now, if we didn't draw that first arc to match the one on our angle we're given, we wouldn't know where to measure. And so if I measure way down here, right, that's not going to be the same distance across as it would be if I measure from the same distance as that point there that's going to end up being the vertex of the angle. Right, so we want to place the compass right on that arc we drew, and then we draw another arc. Which is what you, whoops, I'm trying to just move that compass out of the way. Which is what you see in this diagram right here. Right? That's what they've done. Right? So that first arc, right, that they have, this, I shouldn't hand draw, but I'm just going to kind of mark where it is. That arc there, right? So that was created after we drew an arc from our angle. So we drew an arc from point C, and we put the same arc on the angle we're trying to draw. That way, when we draw our angle, it's going to be going through the same point, right? I shouldn't say the same point, but a point that's the same distance away from our vertex. So now all we'd have to do now, our last step, and you can see it in, so the way this goes is this was, well, this is technically one, the arcs that we drew up there. So we drew an arc, we drew the arc here. We drew another arc to measure, we drew that same arc here, right? Or I guess I could put it here, here. Okay. And then the last step is just to draw a line from the point on the line to the intersection of those two arcs. And now we've copied our angle. Right? I'm going to go through all the steps without having it drawn on the next page, and that'll match yours. Right? So I've kind of gone over the steps here. I'm going to go over it again, but without anything being drawn in. Right? The little lock you see up there, I locked the pages. Otherwise, I move the compass and I move the entire diagram. And then I have to do the podcast over because I'm really picky. All right, so now we want to copy that angle, that little angle up there. I tried to have the same angle I gave you in your notes. Oh, and that little smidge is stuck there. And I locked it in. So it's a very nice smudge. All right, so you have all the steps written out. I'm not going to read them exactly. That would be boring. I'm just going to put them in my own words. All right, so our first step is we need a line segment to draw on. They show a ray. It doesn't really matter in this case if it's a ray or a line segment. I really just don't bother to put the arrows on it. The length does not matter. And then we're going to put a point on our line. Now, you could put a line segment. You could put it, anywhere on the line segment. You could put it there, or you could put it at the edge, whichever you prefer, right? That doesn't matter. Right? I'll just leave it there. That's fine. All right, so now we need to draw. Come on. Come on. Well, I'm saying come on, and there he goes. He's just not wanting to move. And very slowly, you see, there we go, a compass. And this is going to be interesting because what we're trying to copy is at the top of the page again. Oh, is it? This is not one of the easier constructions on the smartboard when it's at the top of the page. Okay. All right, so now I finally have the compass point on my angle, and I need to turn my angle a little bit. Come on, angle. Be nice for all the people watching. There we go. And I'm going to draw an arc. Somehow, I'm going to get my finger on that compass. It's almost off the page. And draw an arc. Yay! All right, so notice I didn't put the arc too close to the vertex, and I didn't put it at the edge. All right, it's really easy to make a mistake when you're trying to copy your angle. If you put it at the edge, it's hard to measure it. So just put it in the middle somewhere. Now, I did a boo-boo because my compass doesn't lock. I have messed up the measurement. All right, I have changed the opening. As soon as you change the opening, all right, you can't just take that and put it on the line segment to measure that the distance, where you should put the next arc. You'll have to, if you're doing that and that happens, your compass opens up, you will have to close it and try to make sure that it's open to the same place as it was before. I have the handy dandy little, and it should, undo compass spread. Ta-da! You don't have that. There we go. Come on, compass. Come on, compass. Okay, now I'm going to draw the same arc here. Now that I've made sure, and by the way, I try to make sure I go a little, I'm trying to make sure I go far enough, right? I don't have to make a whole circle, right? But I don't want to stop too soon and then not have gone far enough to measure the arc. So if I go and measure the arc and this arc I just drew isn't long enough and it doesn't reach, then I have to do it again. So I try to give it a little bit extra. Now we need to measure across the angle. So we measure. Oh, I can't even reach that. What will I do? What will I do? Well, I can tell you it's not open enough. Let's see if I turn it a little bit. All right, I've got it on one side. I think I got it open too much now. So I unfortunately have to try to measure that. I'm going to close it a teensy bit more. I'm going to hope that I can still reach the compass. All right, you can see it barely that is open too wide. So I'm going to open it a little, I'm going to close it up a little bit. I unfortunately can't get real close to that angle without losing the, oh, look at that, perfect, perfect. So notice that my compass is open just the right amount to go from one side to the other. Now I need to be able to grab the pencil. Come on, yay! Oh, didn't draw. So close. Come on, there we go. There's the other arc. Phew! You will not have this much difficulty because you will not have to use your compass up in the air. All right, so now I've measured across. I'm going to take my compass. Come on, come on, come on, compass. I'm going to put 1 point on the arc I already drew, the pointy end. The part that will hurt more if you stab yourself with it, the pointy end. All right, and now I didn't change the opening at all. I'm going to draw the arc and keep drawing till it intersects the first arc. And if you don't press down on the smartboard compass enough, you have to do it again. There we go. Phew! It really is not this difficult. Only on the smartboard. All I need to do now, I'm almost done, is I need to draw a line segment. You'll use a straight edge from the point that I started with, where I put the, hey, don't move, point. Go back. From the point I started at to where the arcs intersect. And ta-da! We have copied our angle. It does not matter it matters how many degrees the angle is. We don't care how long the sides are, all right? The sides can be longer if you'd like, it doesn't matter. Look how long the one side is. All right, that's it for copying an angle. Right? And so you can give that a try, and we'll look at another construction a little later on. All right, bye for now.